Hi, it's your coach, Jim Gray from Nimble team, and today what I want to go over is a question that I get a lot from the agents that I work with. And here's the question. Jim, what should I pay for a lead? This is a great question, and I want to consider this for just a couple minutes today. All right, so cost per lead. What should you pay? Let me start with this. I want to change the way you even think about buying leads, okay? I want to completely shift your paradigm on that. Here's who cares what a lead costs? How about that? It doesn't matter what the lead costs. It quite literally doesn't matter. But here's what does matter, okay? What does matter is your cost per close. So go with me on this. What should you pay for a lead? Should you pay $1? Should you pay 25 bucks? Should you pay $600? Wait, let's stop. Would you pay $600 for a lead? I bet you would if you knew that that lead would absolutely go to a close. Or would you? I don't know. How can we know whether that number or any number is the right number for your business? Okay, so how do we figure that out? We got to start with a P&L. Listen. I know I sound like a broken record and I keep beating this drum, but you run a team. You have a business. You have to have a P&L. You need to know what your income is. You need to know what your cost of sales are. You need to know what your expenses are so you can know what your net ordinary income is. Why is this so important? I'll tell you why. Because lead generation, okay, the cost of leads, is an expense. The question is, how much can you spend per close to maintain the net profit margin that is your target? And if all of those terms are a little foreign to you, it's okay. It's okay. Keep coming back to this site here. I'm going to be dealing with all of these subjects in detail, breaking them down simply so you can use them all to make your team grow bigger, go faster, and so you make more money, right? That's when I say more money, what I mean is more net profit. Okay, so let's kind of break this down. All right, let's say that your average home sale price is $250,000. Let's say that your average commission is 3%. That means that your gross commission income, before you pay your broker, before you pay your agents, your gross commission income is $7,500. Okay, so now let's go back to the example of, well, would you pay $600 to generate that close? Here's how we look at it. You would take $600. That was your marketing cost, your cost per close. You divide that by $7,500, which is your GCI, your gross commission income. What do you get? I'll tell you what you get. You get 8%. Now, what this means is of your gross commission, of the 100%, 8% was taken and used to pay for your marketing costs. Is that a good number? Well, let's put it this way. This is where models become so important. You don't want to get this wrong. And I think a fair question is, well, what do agents who are very successful and run profitable businesses, what do they do? Aha, well, they follow a model. Okay, so what I can tell you is, when it comes to lead generation, right now, if you were to check in one of the best blueprints I think that is available, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, written by Gary Keller, you will see that lead generation should occupy between 9 and 12% of the total P&L. You can spend between 9 and 12% on your closes. And in this case, it was 8%, so you're on model, all right? So let's use a real-world example, right? Something a little closer to home. Let's say you're doing Google pay-per-click leads, right? Google pay-per-click leads, depending on where you live, depending on who's running the campaign for you, these leads can cost somewhere in the realm of $20 per lead. Is that a good number? Well, again, doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter. The question is, that 20 bucks, what will that equate to in terms of a cost per close? Here's how we figure that out. You take what the raw lead was to create, in this case, $20. Then we look at the conversion rate. We have to project, okay, well, how many of these leads will we actually convert to a close? And you project that. And I can tell you that 2.5% is not a bad percentage to kind of build a model on. What that means is if you had 100 of these leads, 2.5 of them would end up in closes, okay? So the cost per close in this example is $800, okay? And the way you get there is very simple. You take 20 bucks, you divide it by 2.5%, you get $800. Now let's just continue on with our example. We take 800 bucks, divide that by our gross commission check, which is $7,500. And in this case, if you were paying 20 bucks for that lead, if you were converting at 2.5%, if your gross commission check on average was 7,500 bucks, your marketing costs, your lead costs are 11%. And what's the model? 9 to 12. You're good here, but you're on the high side of good. So you got to watch it. How do you watch it? You're checking a P&L every single month. Let's look at this example again. What if you can get 2.5% conversion up to 3.2% conversion? Well, guess what? 800 bucks drops to 625, and your costs to close go from 11% down to 8%. And that 3% goes right to the bottom line, right into your pocket. And if you're running a big business, or you aspire to run a big business, trust me when I say 3% is a big deal. Okay? So hopefully you find that helpful. Cost per lead is not the point. It's cost per close. That's the point. If you need help with this, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is right here. I'd be more than happy to kind of listen to what's going on in your business, look at lead gen in particular, if that's what you want to talk about, and see if we can create a plan for you to move your business forward. I look forward to speaking with you.